Yeah, we've been trying to find a
Oh,
day to do
wait.
this for weeks
Yeah.
at this point.
Expect
Busy
It's a
ladies.
testament to how busy we've all been.
it is. Expect nothing of substance. This is a silly afternoon. Well, it'll be substantive, but like, you know,
As
It's still
Sabrina
substantive.
Carpenter says, busy woman.
busy
That's
women.
us.
Yes. It'll be a lot of shit talking too, because I
Substance shit talking is substance these
it
days.
is. It is indeed. Sammy and I went to see a really good play that I would suggest to
I'm
anybody if you're in
jelly.
the New York City area. It's called Liberation. And it's really cathartic in the way that it retells the story of the women's liberation movement in like a rec center in Ohio where women were meeting to try and figure out what they were going to do. And honestly, a lot of the
I like
stuff they
that.
were going through are the same things that we talk about now.
It sounds good. I'm jelly I didn't get to go with you guys.
There's still
So
time.
I would go again.
Oh, okay. Girls
And not
trip.
just because there's full nudity in the second act.
Oh yeah, I can't believe that was like a real thing people did, but
I
whatever.
know.
Um,
What do you mean? Like they're not wearing like bodysuits, you mean, Sammy?
no,
Like,
no, no,
No.
no, because I guess in the like 70s they would have these meetings where they would meet naked. They were
What?
like consciousness raising meetings.
Yeah. So they would get
It
full
was
bush
recommended
out
in Miss
naked.
Magazine, apparently.
Yeah. Full bush out naked and talk about like things they didn't like about their bodies, things they didn't like about the world. And it was supposed to be like the most vulnerable possible, like,
That's
share circle.
vulnerable. I'll
Mhm.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
We're not getting naked. I'm sorry,
not doing that.
Substack. We're not getting
Yeah.
naked here.
I feel like we could do that and not be naked, but who am
Well, that's
I?
kind of what I thought, but in the
Yeah.
name of historical accuracy. But it was
We did it.
interesting. Yeah. Speaking of feminism and the decline thereof, should we talk about which things do we want to talk about first?
I don't
Flat
know if
Earth,
people.
Prince Andrew,
No, Prince
or
Andrew we
Yeah,
have to
that's for
save.
later.
last. Okay.
I want to talk
Not Prince
about the
Andrew.
Erica Kirk hug while on the topic of inappropriate.
Physical contact.
Let me see if I can. Let me pull it up
Can
for
you
the
pull it up?
people.
Can you
Yeah.
like do that in some way?
Well, I'm gonna like show it on my computer, which I hope people can still see.
You
Okay,
need to
let's.
see it.
How
Here's
do you
what
do
we're
that?
A matter
analyzing.
at hand.
Wait, let me not show my entire computer.
I was gonna
screen.
say we're gonna look at your tabs, your open.
Yeah. No one's going to be looking at the real picture.
Okay, here we have. This is what we're discussing. Okay, so everybody's aware.
That is way there. First of all, there is no
First of all, the
daylight
most-
between those bodies. There's no
No
daylight.
space
number
for
one.
Jesus.
Jesus
okay.
is not hanging out there.
The
This
most
is not even me
inappropriate
getting
part
like.
is her hand on
Yeah,
his
the
neck.
hand. The hand is the affair. I think if I saw anybody hug my wife or something like this, I'd be like, that is so fucking wrong.
And I'll
Yeah.
tell all of you tuning in that my response to the group chat when V posted that was, "I'm copping a feel the next time I
Yeah,
see V." is what I'm
exactly.
gonna do.
But
I
like
mean-
women looking at this, right? And I was not quick. They held this position for so long that I took a slow screenshot. Okay.
The video,
There's
Where
a
is
video
that,
of it.
by the way? Do you know where that is?
turning point event.
Yeah, they
Where
were
he was
Ole
talking
Miss.
about
He
like
spoke
immigrants.
yesterday.
and-
That's
Yes,
right.
this is from
That's
Ole
right. He
Miss.
spoke yesterday.
Wait, V and I also were given a piece of information that Usha is like really miserable, reportedly.
Clinically, like actually concerningly
really
depressed.
miserable.
I
And
know.
he's
I
a
have no
really
sympathy.
he's
I have
a
no
really
sympathy for her.
big, like, he's just like very bad to her
Yeah.
and to like the kids.
No sympathy.
And
No, I have no
that's not
sympathy.
why. That's not why I'm talking about it. It's
It's just
I
the gossip.
wonder if like, because also I was thinking about at this event, he made this like, he keeps going out there and making these very express like white nationalist arguments all about like assimilation and how like his family is like so important because they go back generations in America. And I just sort of like
His
wonder.
hillbilly elegy family? Is that what he's talking
Yeah.
about?
His white
Yeah.
family.
And I just sort of wonder
white
if
people.
like he sees like that there's like he sees more status in Erica Kirk.
Oh,
And like I
sure.
wonder if there's like we're friends and we're gonna comfort you, and maybe Usha will like leave him, maybe. I don't know. And maybe he will something with Erica Kirk, because there's
Well, that's the
something
tea
about
on
that. And
Reddit.
it's not the kind of thing where like Reddit.
These are both pictures, so we know what we're talking about.
That's the only place I've seen that position is Donald Trump hugging his daughter.
Right.
So the one on the right.
Wait,
Sami.
okay. Am I allowed, is this a safe space, everybody, for me to be a catty bitch?
Yes, definitely.
What in the actual fuck is she wearing in that
I know.
picture on the
Oh,
right?
the leather
Leather
pants.
pants.
I know.
I mean,
Look, just
again,
because you're
I will
like
be judgy
skinny.
about grief. No,
Okay.
that's not it. It's
Look at
not the
this.
body
No, it doesn't
shaming.
mean she can wear that. Like, it's
Look at this
inappropriate.
hand.
Yeah, it's like this is an official turning point event, and she's wearing a crop top and some leather pants. I don't, whatever.
Yeah, she looks like
Okay.
something I wore like when I
To the
was in
Sabrina
college.
Carpenter.
No, I wore my glittery dress.
How very grief stricken she looks in her pleather pants and her crop top as she's sucking on JD Vance's cheek. That's very grief stricken, huh?
I want to
Honestly,
say,
like there's
as a
something.
professional cheater catcher, there are some tells here. Okay, one,
Her hand.
this hand here on the hip is too familiar. Okay, and it's too low.
Too low. Should
That
be-
is a sex hug. Okay, that's a sex hug.
I'm not so
Nobody
hung up on
does this.
the hand on the waist is not triggering.
No, it's her hand here.
No, I think that this is a little
I think
low
that's-
for a married man with 2 children, okay? I think
Oh,
her
I don't
hand on the
trust
back of his neck is very intimate. And I think his
that thing.
arms.
That's like grab the back of the head
Yeah.
kind of hair thing. Yeah,
But like the
that's what that is.
spread out hand here, the low here, I just think it's
The full
too
embrace.
intimate.
I think the whole thing
Why
as
do
a
we have to be
whole.
like huggy like this? That's so weird.
I
I've never
understand
hugged
like
anyone
giving
like
a
this.
hug. Like if you think about, think about Bernie and AOC if they were gonna hug.
Sami,
Like,
I'm going to demonstrate for you how you hug. This is for all of Substack. This is how you hug a woman when you're married, okay? So let's say that it's here. You
it's
do
hard
this.
without a person. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's
a
about
little,
right.
like a
You're
little
supposed to
lean
have
in.
like crotch
You keep
distance.
your genitals away from theirs. You do
Yeah,
not.
you just
hug
it's
your
all
chest
very
to
like
you.
it's all very like shoulder forward.
It's shoulder forward, and it's like this.
It's on the okay. No hands go below like
No
here.
below. No, you stay in what we called in the restaurant industry the T zone. Okay, right here.
Here, yeah,
This.
yeah. It should be like a high hug around the arms.
Yes,
rather
no
than
around
like
the waisty hugs.
Yeah, no. It's definitely like it has to be like an arm or like even without even touching. It can be like a his cheek to
light.
Yeah, very like not
Intimate.
like it shouldn't be like you're greeting an old friend.
Wait, Michelle Brody just said, leave room for the holy genitals. And Michelle, that is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was our first hot gossip to talk about. I just don't think
I don't dig
it's
it.
right.
I don't
think it's right.
I saw someone tweet
and
something
here's
very
the other
mean.
thing. Look at the joy on his face. That fucker rarely shows like a lot of joy. He got joy. He's channeling joy.
He's
on that
red,
video.
or that might be the screenshot.
This is a boyish.
He is
I have
happy.
a crush
Look at him.
huggy.
He's like,
Look at how close his lips are to her
feel.
lips.
Yeah.
No, her face is turned.
Yeah, but they're like close.
Either
to
way,
it,
the whole picture is just not right. But yeah, no, I think there's a big problem
that's really
that stems
uncomfortable.
from Usha's like heritage. And I don't mean that in like like I'm being racist. Like I mean it as like I think that is a problem for the base. They constantly are coming after her.
Did you
and
see
he
what
doesn't
happened?
defend her.
Wait,
What?
did you guys see what happened for the Diwali? So they were going after. Well, first of all, do you guys what is that douche that ran for president?
Vivek
as a
Ramaswamy.
Republican? What's his name? Oh, yeah. So Vivek apparently did a turning point event or something, and they were
booed
going
him.
after him. They booed him, and they were saying, "You're not a Christian, so you're worthless, racist motherfuckers." And then apparently they went after Kash Patel. Because apparently Kash Patel posted something about Diwali on his social, and they were like, don't bring this shit to our country. Get the fuck out of our country. Blah, blah, blah. And then Usha Vance posted about Diwali and said, oh, look, my son did this thing for me. And people were posting all sorts of shit on her social. I mean, look, you reap what you sow. I hate to be such a bitch about it, but listen, you think MAGA supports this? Get the fuck out of here.
No, that's who's doing that.
This is another angle which she held for a long time because he was talking. You can see, like,
we see a video.
This.
Can we get a video?
Oh yeah, let me just pull up.
I think that's most important. Like we're gonna have a lot more to mine there. No, I really think that I agree with you. She's like dug her own grave. I saw someone tweeting a suggestion that was like the Democrats and people on the left should be like hammering that as a wedge because it will because it really is a natural issue that they like. This is a problem.
So I would
It's
like to
fucked
know that.
up, but she
I would
should.
like to know this because my old colleague Jake Traylor from NBC as a correspondent went to the Turning Point event yesterday, and it was all young white people. I did not see any minorities, and B, it was the JD Vance, and they all were asked, who do you think is the 2028 nominee for the GOP? And they all said JD Vance. But I wonder if you actually dug a little deeper and you said, well, what are your thoughts about his wife, or what are your thoughts about the fact? Because listen, that man talks. Vance and others talk as if immigrants are mongrels and are animals. So what the fuck do they talk about in that house? Right? What do they talk about in that house? That's what I want to know. I want to know when it's grandma and grandpa who came straight from India, when it's like their birthdays, or do we like pretend like they don't exist anymore? Do we not go outside in public with them? Like, I'm dead serious.
And
Like,
what
that
about their
bothers me.
kids? Their kids.
What do the kids do?
Well, the tea on the kids is that they are not parented and that they are like feral because they're sort of like not parented, right? Because Usha's got this alleged like deep depression, like
She also
constant.
had a real job. Like she was.
Yeah,
she
she's
like
like-
quit her job.
At a progressive Democratic law firm was her job.
So she's apparently not capable of parenting right now, according to sources familiar. And he
It
is
seems-
fucking rotten to her, apparently. So
It
it's
honestly
like,
seems like
and he
I
doesn't
can
take care of
see how
her.
this all got away from her. Like
Sure.
when she married him or met him and was dating him, like he was not the same person as he is now, like in fundamental ways.
But I have
Even
people
10
that
years
went
ago.
to I
Yeah.
have people that went to Yale Law with them,
Mhm.
and I have been told that the two of them were the ambitious power
Oh,
couple,
sure. Yeah.
and that she was a big driver. So you know what? Like I said, you reap what you sow. That's all I got to say about that.
Mhm.
Right. Well, she said, okay, we're going to get the ambition, but we're going to have to sacrifice some of our actual ideologies that they held, or that she probably did really hold or does.
She sold her soul. I have no sympathy. I will say two things. One, he does strike me as so disgustingly craven that I could see him dumping her if it meant that he would get the presidential nomination in 28.
Mhm.
One. And two, I could also see her, though, finding some balls and maybe exposing him, you
I could see
know,
both
for
too.
all the bad shit. So, you know what? I would pay popcorn money for that easily. Any day.
I could honestly, okay, I could see her like actually turning like fully.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I worry that she's gonna, God forbid, end up like RFK Jr.'s wife that he drove to absolute, insanity and
I don't think
more.
so.
I don't want to
She's
say.
too-
I'm just
Usha's
saying
too.
this kind of stuff can really destroy you and
The
your
other
whole
person.
personhood,
Yeah.
the affair and
Oh.
everything, and the way that RFK Jr. habitually cheated on her, gaslit her, made her think she was crazy, and then she took grave action, and we of course never hoped that for anybody. But it's like JD Vance doesn't have empathy. He has this like you said, craven ambition, and he will do whatever it takes.
Can we take like a little bit of a detour that I did not even preview with the two of you on our group chat about
do tell.
Tucker Carlson interviewing Nick Fuentes on Monday?
I did see that, and I also, yeah.
I mean, they're not hiding their anti-Semitism, are they?
No.
It's like they're unapologetic anti-Semites now. It's like they're not even pretending, which I think is going to create a huge fissure in MAGA world, because you already see the Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens
Ted
on one
Cruz.
side, Ted Cruz, and you've got the Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes now thing. But I think it's wild because I'm reading an article, I'll quote from it. It's from The Bulwark. And they said, Tucker Carlson interviewed white nationalist podcaster Nick Fuentes on Monday. Tucker sitting politely as Fuentes criticized the power of organized Jewry in America.
Oh yeah, this is like, okay. Here's the thing. As a Jew,
Yeah,
everyone fucking hates us, and it's not great. And I personally feel like I never thought I'd use this word, like politically homeless, and like not even like homeless, but because like I know what I believe, but like I don't feel like there's any sort of, I don't think there's a part, like, I don't think there's like a safe place in either party, because also like you have with the Democrats, like the institutional Democrats who are like, everyone's kind of coming after them with like APAC money and all that shit. Which, like, yeah, I don't think they should take APAC money. I don't think they should take any money.
Any PAC
Like,
money,
I think that's actually like the problem. And it's the fact that like that gets focused on so much more, when really like there are other countries that are directly influencing with more money. There's also like the entire healthcare industry, the oil industry, private equity, all these,
private
crypto, all
families.
these, all these like, the Heritage Foundation, all of these groups that pay so much to influence everything. And it's like, oh, APAC money is like it just feels like, oh, you're sort of like discredited. And I try to be like very nuanced with this. But I just think like the mainstreaming of Nick Fuentes and the things that people will entertain that come out of, like, I actually think that Ben Shapiro is like, he's gonna get kicked out
He is.
of the
Oh,
right.
that's been there. They're
They'll
gonna
eat him
split
up.
up.
Yeah,
They're
like,
eating him up. Wait, is Nick Fuentes Catholic? He is Mexican. Is he Catholic?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't
could look
And
it
is
remember.
up.
Tucker
I don't
Carlson
know.
Catholic or Protestant? Because this is the thing that I watch, like,
Tucker
from my little
is a Protestant.
Protestant. Okay, so then probably Nick Fuentes is a
Nick
Catholic, because Catholic,
Fuentes.
J.D. Vance and Erica Kirk and
Oh, Nick
Candace Owens are
Fuentes
Catholic.
identifies as Catholic.
Okay,
He
so this is
frequently
going to be the next
incorporates
thing.
Catholic imagery and rhetoric into his public appearances and online content.
Yes. Leah Anderson, yes, he's Catholic. This is going to be the next thing. Because the evangelical church has gained so much power in America, and it's really in Christian nationalism is based in this idea of like Protestant evangelicalism, the greatest apex predator to the evangelicals is the
Carlson
Catholic
is an
Church.
Episcopalian. So it's not quite,
just
they're
saying.
They're like a little more
Episcopalians are a little fast and loose, but they're Catholic light, right? Like they got everything except the
I thought
saints.
they're Protestant light.
They could be both. They don't have the saints. My grandma was Episcopalian, but then she
So I
became
thought
Catholic
saints
because
are
it was a
Catholic.
status symbol, right? Like, so anyway, this is what I think the actual underlying next fight will be. And Jewish people and Catholic people, I think, are sitting in a similar space in terms of the fact that Jesus was a Jew, right? But they have an American Jesus that is very different than the Catholic Jesus, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very interested in watching how that power is playing out with the American Pope. There's a lot popping with like the Catholic dominance situation, you know?
Oh, yeah, the Pope is like no Opus Dei.
Right. No Opus Dei, no Christian nationalism. The king praying with the Pope is a really big deal. Obviously breaks 500 years of tradition. It's sort of like, it's shaking it up. And the UK is having a problem with the super right wing controlling them. And they're like, whatever nationalism.
There were wars over it.
Just saying. So I'm watching the Catholics a little bit like, oh boy. And I think the Catholics and the Jewish people will probably link up more against the Christian nationalists, like anti-Semitic situation, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, you posted something that I think is actually I think is actually very accurate, that this is about a war between extremists and not like moderates, but like people who don't, like, I think about it, it's like the people in the middle of the horseshoe versus the people on the ends of the horseshoe.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that like you have both the very, like the right and the left now whitewashing Nazism as like, oh, it's okay. Not
the
maybe
Graham
Nazism,
Flatner of it all,
but
right?
like, you're opening a door. And it's one thing if he were like a reformed Nazi or like a reformed neo-Nazi even. It's all different. It's like, I think the issue is more that there's like this obscuring of this past, and that gives permission. Because if you're not the person who's like, I get he's repudiating it, good, but I don't feel that he's like, he's actually still not telling the
clearly
truth.
Repudiated it?
I don't.
He said, like, I'm very anti-Nazi. I'm very anti-fascist. I'm very anti-Semitism.
Popular right now. That's what's helping him right now. Like you said, he's a fail son. He sort of goes with whatever is going to get him through the day. He doesn't.
I do believe that.
He's a flip-flopper. He doesn't. I don't think he actually has like any point we can point to in his history where he's had an idea or a conviction that he's stuck to. Whether it was protesting George Bush's war in 2003 and then immediately signing up to go to war, gets out of war, signs up for the National Guard to go back, gets out of that, signs up to be be at Blackwater to go back. The boy loves war. Gets a tattoo. Oh, I didn't know it was Nazi. It was about what I did in the military. So what is this, a kill trophy? And then I gotta like not talk about him though, because I'm catching so many strays online for like my feelings about Graham
Well,
Plattner,
this
and
is
I
the thing.
actually don't
You
care. His
should not
election's
be.
not even until June.
Well, the thing is, I think the fact that you're catching strays is actually the point. Like, I think there's this
Yeah.
like primitive protectiveness that is coming mostly from like white men
Well,
who are
Pete
who
Buttigieg
want to
is
be
too.
redeemed.
Pete
What?
Buttigieg is catching Graham Plattner strays because they're saying, "Oh, well, Pete Buttigieg was in the war. Is he a Nazi too?" And I'm like, he doesn't have a
He doesn't have the
tattoo.
He doesn't
tattoo.
have
And
the
No
he has
one's
like
Nazi.
saying also
intelligence. He was
it is
totally different.
it's also not about the tattoo.
Right.
Because if you had
It's a
said
lie.
it's about the obscuring about the past and the fact that it doesn't wash. Like, if the story could wash, sure, I'll take it, but it doesn't. And the fact that it doesn't tells me that he's not someone who gets held accountable for things. And that the copious amount of inconsistencies and the way that they chose to construct this narrative of him as being like this like working class guy when now he does a working class job, technically, but that's actually not who he is, and it's not that the real narrative would have been disqualifying. I actually think he had a super interesting narrative to
In the
tell
beginning.
politically that doesn't contradict anything. But I think the fact that people want to shout us down about this and shout Pete Buttigieg down is actually like the proof that they want to take over the party and they want to have not progressive views, not progressive views. That's very different. They want to have like a very strident, like, you know, kind of anarchist,
Mm,
communist view.
mm.
I don't know if it's communist, but it's more like, I don't think it is. It's like authoritarian coded because it's not about what Graham Plattner actually believes. It's
They're
about like
projecting on him.
him.
Yeah. Well, this has been my problem with the Bernie Bros, right? And the Bernie situation, which again, I
It's
did get a
that.
lot of my feelings about Bernie. So just like hold with me for 2 seconds. I don't like the way that I don't like anybody who says that they're the one who knows exactly what to do and that they can represent everyone when Bernie, the reason why he couldn't win is because he couldn't get the black vote and he never did. And black voters don't tend to, on the whole, like really go for Bernie. He also comes from Vermont, 98% white state. I know you like marched in civil rights and he really likes to point to that he's got a couple pictures from the civil rights movement and whatnot. But I often find him sort of speaking in this way that like, if you would just burn the entire system down and let him control it, then it would be better. And that feels, like you're saying, it doesn't feel exactly like democracy to me in that way either.
It's about the energy that it comes
Yeah.
with. Like, they give Bernie so much credit for like pushing the Democrats. And it's like, okay, so did he? Like, he's been there for 6 decades. Like, I
And he
think
hasn't
that
really passed many
and he hasn't
legislation.
really done much. And like, even if, yeah, there wasn't anything he could do in other than they think talking, compare this to Elizabeth Warren, who
Right.
is an actual progressive workhorse. No one
Mhm.
asked her to create the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. No one was like, here, now you're in power. Like, let's do whatever you want. Like, everyone should just listen to you. She invented a consumer protection agency out of whole cloth. Like,
Mhm.
just no one asked her to do that. She just did it. She
Mhm.
did the work. She pushed for it to get done. It existed. It's not really her fault that it got like the fact is like he had a lot more power than she did. And he
Mhm.
could have done things like that to actually protect the working class, if not like get money out of politics, which he doesn't even really advocate for. It's like all he does is like the millionaires and the billionaires. It's like, yeah, I
Right.
can criticize rich people too. Like, it's not that hard. Like, that's
Yeah.
not
Which,
policy.
by the way, we shouldn't be criticizing the millionaires and the billionaires if we can get them to help us, right? Like, I
Sure.
don't think that we should be kicking them to the curb if I had
Right.
a very interesting conversation with this organization called Patriotic Millionaires. And
Mm.
the idea
Oh, yeah.
is about the uber wealthy changing their tax payments to be able to make up the deficit, to be able to lift up people, advocating for a livable wage, things like that. I think the problem is it smacks of desperation from the party, and that's what troubles
Mm.
me the most. That
Mhm.
we are now jettisoning this idea, which I'm okay with not having to pass purity tests because nobody is perfect, right?
Right.
And
Sure.
I don't think anybody fits a quote definition of what a quote real Democrat is or a true Democrat, because I don't really think there is one. I just think you can't make excuses for a candidate that you otherwise would never have been supporting if this came out. If just basic opposition research came out about this, there is no climate within which you would have been continuing to support this candidate, but for the fact that we seem to be wringing our hands thinking that there's a dearth of qualified candidates to be able to serve in these roles, which is why I'm a big advocate of saying, I don't think we should be saying we need to go back to where we were. I think we need to rebuild. There's no
Mhm.
Yes.
reformation.
No,
We have
for
to just
sure. You're right.
rebuild. We
You're
have to
absolutely
look
right.
at everything and say, okay, look, maybe you do have peccadillos and sins in the past. You've accounted for them, you own them, you move on. To your point, both of you, I think there's been this weird, like, excuse riddled thing with Plattner that's just really not passing a lot of people's smell test. And I've been very observant and I've been reading and listening, and it just doesn't resonate with me. And I don't know if it's a personality thing. I just don't really think that he's it.
Yes. I have
I
a
don't.
theory. I have a theory. I wrote a Substack about this, so
It was a
anyone
good
listening
Substack.
can
It's a
thank you,
great
can read.
Substack. We
Thank you. I
big
think
fan.
that honestly, like, it's there's something primitive and, like, elemental about the beard, the voice, that actually signals, like, it triggers an
The
evolutionary
facial hair,
response.
people. We're
Yeah.
not talking about the cover.
Oh,
The gay,
We're talking
no,
the
no, no,
gays.
yeah.
We're
the
talking
real
But
beard.
there's a reason that beard, like, that term for someone who's trying to cover up,
Yeah.
their sexuality
The truth.
is
Yeah.
called a beard, because there's something that a beard signals to people about masculinity, about power. And
Right.
I started, like, doing a bit more research, and really, like, throughout, beards are cyclical. What they have meant is cyclical.
Huh.
And what they, what I thought was especially interesting was that Abraham Lincoln apparently grew his beard in 1860 because an 11-year-old girl wrote him a letter saying, I have 4 brothers and some of them are going to vote for you, but the other ones, I don't think I can convince them to vote for you, but you should grow whiskers, meaning like a beard.
Yeah.
And then I think I could convince them to vote for you. And all the women like whiskers, so they'll
Yep.
tell their husbands. And then, like, a month later, after that, he showed up with a grown beard.
There he
And
was.
I just think that, like, there's something evolutionary that triggers a sense of protectiveness from a masculine and, like, from that
Maturity.
masculinity.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people are willing to trust him and give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, it's a very, like, I feel people's lizard brains being hit.
Yeah.
And he gets the right words. He has the right words
Yeah.
because he has the right people. And also, he's just saying common sense things that only sound ridiculous when they come out of a woman's mouth
Yeah.
or, like, a
People want to
minority's mouth.
criticize.
Like, it's not that really revolutionary to think that people in America should have health care and
Mhm.
shouldn't be hungry. Like, it's just not crazy. And when a woman suggests it, when AOC suggests it, people just hear things differently. And if you look at him and you hear what he's saying, picture a woman in his place. It, like, wouldn't wash the same way. He would be
They're
out
not going to
already.
accept it. It's like somebody had written in here before, the difference between Warren and Bernie is that women are judged by what they produce and men are judged by if they show up it was good enough. Like, them showing up is a radical act, where women have to, like, actually produce something to be judged for a little
Exactly.
bit.
To have value.
I gotta
And then
say,
it's still not good enough.
that beard thing
Yeah,
reminds me,
that's
like,
true.
Pete Hegseth's obsession with beards now. No more beardos. Because he
Because he
does
doesn't want
this
black
weird little
people
thing.
to have the beard.
He
He also
does
probably
this
can't.
weird little thing where he created, like, space for himself to break the rule. He is a clean-shaven guy, but the rules in the military are your sideburns can't come below your ear hole here. And his just come just a little bit too long. They're just an inch too long to put him out of regs like he's special. But then he'll be like, oh, but I do everything the same that everybody else does. And I do PT and I'm like the leader and I'm like but you do these little subconscious things that show me that you're insecure. And even if it's something as much as like an inch long sideburn, to put yourself like, well, you can't do it, but I can type thing. And I'm like, I just think you're this whole administration is full of, like, strange little weirdos who do weird things like grow their sideburns an inch too long for regs, if you're trying to say everybody needs to be in regs, and, let other women hold their neck, like JD Vance and Erica
Well,
Kirk.
JD Vance has the beard, but I think it's because has anybody ever seen a picture of a clean-shaven JD Vance?
He looks
I
like
Yeah,
bet
when
Ted
he was
Cruz. They have
heavier.
bad face,
And
weak chin.
I bet you has a weak chin.
He
And
does.
that's
He's
why
Fine
he
very
has
feminine,
beard.
very
Chubby cheek.
full face.
You know what's interesting about Hegseth is he's not like everyone in the military because no one else has their own makeup room.
No, just the camo paint. They do that pretty good. That'll be next for him.
Yeah.
Everything about him just irks me in such a way, and I think he displays his insecurity so prominently that like
They all
it's
do.
laughable.
That's
It's all small dick energy.
There is
Sorry.
no
It is.
one in the administration or like on their side
Yeah,
that actually
he
like
can't grow a beard.
have a
He's jealous.
mature
Yeah,
energy. Yeah,
he
that's what I
can't
was thinking.
connect.
I think he can't grow one. It doesn't
That's
work.
gonna be Donald Trump too. Trump's got to have a patchy
But
beard, and that's
also
why
like
he's like always been that way.
Trump
but
can borrow
also
some
like
hair
if you
off the
think
top
about
of
it,
his head.
Hegseth comes from like the green room. Like
Yeah.
he comes from Fox News. Like
Mhm.
there's not a lot of bearded people at Fox News because I like I say this in the piece, like beard signals outsider.
Right.
It still kind of does.
Well,
That's part of it.
clean-shaven
It's like
face, discipline,
interesting.
authority,
Now.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
now a clean shaven face that's in. But
Yeah.
I mean, it still is in like institutional spaces. But if you're
Well,
trying
like
to
Andrew
show that
Ross
you're an
Sorkin.
outsider,
Like a baby's ass, Ross Sorkin's face, and he's always so like his ties are perfect. He's projecting like very professional journalists all the time, and I think that's what
John
Fox tries to
Ossoff.
pretend they are, right? By being clean shaven and having the suit and doing the thing. Yeah,
Just think about like
I think
pretty much
Sorkin
any
is the cutest little
institutional.
thing. People are like, you cannot call Ross Sorkin cute, and I'm like, I think he's the cutest little baby.
He's adorable.
I just think he's the sweetest little person.
He's adorable.
He's adorable.
Cutie.
Have you guys seen his new book?
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. I saw
Nobody's going to read it. You're going to have to get it as an audiobook and spend the rest of your life listening. I mean, the book is this thick, Katie. It's like a
Is
War
it?
and Peace. Yeah, I just got it. And I was like, shit, Andy, this is a hell of a book. I mean, 1929, it might take you a whole year till 2029 to read it.
2029. It'll be
It's
2029
a
by the time we're
thickin'.
done reading
It's
it.
a thickin'.
He said it took him like years to write.
I believe it.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think he like took some time in the middle, but he's been
No,
working on it for like a really long time.
I mean, the complete
Shit.
historian works are not as long. Like it's. I'm not joking you. Yeah, Andy writes a thick one. We'll put that out there for all of you.
I would love
And he
to
doesn't have
get.
a beard.
I
He
bet
doesn't have a
like
beard.
a bunch of it is notes,
I
like
hope.
references.
Well, I'm gonna skim it, but I mean, I'm very interested. But I was like, holy shit, this is like a commitment.
It's
I
hefty.
know
Yeah.
it is.
All right, Sammy's got to go.
Oh yes, I
I
have an
know.
exciting interview.
love
which is
We're
why
gonna
I
bring
look-
Tara in. Tara
Yeah.
Palmieri.
I'm jealous. Say hello. I'm so jealous you get to talk about the not Prince Andrew. Bye.
All right, we love you. Bye.
Miss you.
All right. Well, let me add Tara. We're switching now. We're switching Sammy for Tara, and she should come up. And Tara has the scoop on all things one Epstein. She has covered Epstein, so just
I did a video yesterday on my YouTube channel where I read the 180 pages of the Alex Acosta depo in front of House Oversight.
there she is.
And I was so irritated by Acosta.
Hey, Tara, don't scare anybody
Tara,
off
what's up?
screen today, okay? Be nice.
I'm sweet.
Tara scared somebody off of
I
a
saw
live earlier
that.
today.
I saw your post, Tara.
Tara's
I
a
don't
sweet
think that
lady.
hard. Katie, you're a prosecutor. I mean, you know.
Yeah. No,
like-
sometimes, Tara, you get in there sometimes. Like, even sometimes when we're just chatting as friends, you'll be like, well, why is that? And I'm like, there's the journalist. There she is. She needs to know.
Maybe I should have been a prosecutor. I don't know. Maybe I'm in
You've
the
been
wrong
good.
field.
Yeah, investigative journalism 101 is being a
You can't get
prosecutor.
shit past either one of you, though. I mean, like, there's just no way. Yeah.
I've never felt like when I was in a conversation with UV that I had to be like, but why?
No,
I feel like, I feel
No,
like
it's
you're
always
really,
good, but
you're
you
an open
always
book.
because I have nothing to hide, but you do always get that extra question. Like you're just good at your job. That's all I'm saying. Like you just are asking the next thing typically.
Thanks, you're sweet. So are you.
Dude,
What a day,
we're here to
man.
shit talk. We're here to shit talk. So we've already talked about
What a
the
day.
Erica Kirk JD Vance hug. Thoughts?
I love when you send me this stuff. I'm like, ooh, I would have never looked at it and or that way.
I'm here to color your world with gossip and shit talking. Okay.
We veered off the path a little bit today, Tara, but it was all actually politically relevant, to be very honest with you. So it's
No,
not like
she
it
has
was
a
totally
huge
random.
future. And I
What do
actually,
you
when I
think about
saw
the
that
hug?
hug, which was a little weird, and
It's not right.
I think they all have like the hots for her in a weird way. She's like a new widow on the scene, blonde
Oh,
MAGA Barbie doll.
oh,
That's
Um,
true.
oh.
yeah, I know that sounds gross, but I do think that she actually came off as someone who could lead the party, and
Yeah.
that's why it should be concerning for anyone who's up against her because she was cogent, she was graceful, and she could be a good running mate for someone like JD Vance if he ends up having to run against Marco Rubio, as Trump likes to already pit them against each other, as you saw on the plane. He was like,
I don't think she's going to keep the luster. I think that luster's going
yeah,
to rub off. I
Rubio?
don't know if she's she. Look, that could work for Marco. No, Erica Kirk. I think she's riding on. I think she's riding that kind of post, Charlie Kirk death, uh, wagon or whatever. I just don't
yeah,
think it's going to last. I don't think she has enough substance to make it go that
It
far.
does feel a
Honestly.
little bit like 5 years ago, MAGA aesthetically. I think like what I've seen in new MAGA is more like the Emily Austin type new
right.
MAGA. And they're actually like they play the role online and whatnot, and they kind of look that way. But behind the scenes, they're not as like dedicated to being anti-abortion, as dedicated truly to being like anti-gay and stuff. They kind of want to like not. So I wonder if it will work by the time we get to 2028, this similar sort of like original MAGA aesthetic, or if there'll be something else that the Republicans will have come up with by then.
Just hand
Nick
wise.
Fuentes. It'll
I
just
don't,
be, yeah, there won't be women actually
I
anymore.
don't
It'll just
know. I like, I,
enough speculating about that. We are here to
I,
talk about what you know about
I don't. Yeah,
Andrew.
I can't speculate about.
Andrew the civilian. Tell us about civilian Andrew Windsor. What's going on with him?
Oh my God. First of all, amazing that Virginia Giuffre's book has like blown the lid off the entire monarchy. And I can only imagine um, how she would have felt
Yeah.
after a decade of being treated horribly, especially by the British press, called a teen prostitute, made it seem like she was just out for a payday. He said the photo was doctored,
Mm,
just maligned and dragged through the press for so long. It's devastating that this is happening after her death. But
mm,
her family, they were really the first to say, he's still a prince. When he first lost his title of Duke and Duchess of York, he's still a prince. And I will go even further and say, why hasn't Scotland Yard's investigated him yet? Uh, you
When
know,
you say her family, Tara, who are you talking about? Because we've also learned from some of your reporting that her dad was not such a great guy either. He
yeah,
was a bad guy.
her father, according to her book, molested her as a
Yeah.
child, and I always got that feeling from her. But it was like so
She wants to,
taboo at
yeah.
the time that she would only talk about the family friend that he like they traded daughters with. It just, oof. But it just really explains to you the cycle of abuse and why someone would go back to someone like Jeffrey Epstein and think that was normal and live with
Yeah.
like in a enslaved situation for 2 years.
Well,
But
he preyed on girls that were
Mm,
alleged. I'll use their language, damaged, right? That were
broken.
vulnerable to
yeah.
broken. That were vulnerable to this idea of somebody supporting them. I mean, that was a Ghislaine Maxwell point of entry, right? That was
Mhm.
definitely one of the
Yeah,
ways that she was able to lure them into.
But who was
totally.
her family that she because that really gave me like a little bit of peace with her, that she did have people that loved her in her family that
Oh
weren't
yeah,
those.
her
Did she have like
brothers love.
siblings? Her
Yeah,
brothers love her. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, her
you could
brothers
tell.
love her. But like then she goes on and meets this guy in Thailand, and they get married within a week, and that's
Yeah.
Robbie, her husband, who
He
went
was a
on
bastard too. Yeah.
to assault her, break her collarbone. Like
I
that is a
know.
really hard bone to break. And then
Mm,
her children were taken away from her. And like the last time
mm,
we spoke in February, she was not well, to the point where I was like,
Mm.
you have to come to the US. You have to
right.
see your family. You have to
Your
spend time with
brothers.
them. And then they flew out to go see her, but it was really too late. I mean, by the time they were
Mm,
there, she was so gone. It's such a heartbreaking story. I don't know if you've seen him talk about it, her brother Sky, but trying to resuscitate her after she took her life. I mean,
oh,
that's why I get so angry when I hear these conspiracy theories. I think they downgrade the trauma and the impact on a person's life of being sex trafficked. And
mm,
so it's like, oh, she was killed. It's like, no, she had to live with the demons of this horrific crime that so few people have paid the price for.
mhm.
And so, Yeah, Marika Chartouni, she is another survivor of Epstein. She was very close with Virginia. We traveled with her as well, and she did a lot of investigating for Virginia in her case because she's just
Mm.
really good at that. And she just texted me and she was like, "Wish she was here." And it's like, why did this all have to happen in her death? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why couldn't she have seen this sort of justice in her life?
Because they
And
couldn't pick on her anymore, right? I mean, the
yeah,
unfortunate part is every time they tried to bring it up before, they would just then try to, drag her in that, what was she doing? What does she look like? What is she wearing? What is she acting like? And now it's like she took her life. She ended that for herself. And there's power in that choice that she made, even though it's
oh,
not the one we wish for. But like, that's why I agree with you. Like, I don't like when people say, "Oh, she was killed by the circumstance." Like, no, she had power in that moment to choose what happened to her own body, even though it's not the choice that we wish for anyone.
yeah.
Um, but
And
this,
it's like
so
she probably knew that writing that book was going to be so painful for her and she was going to be
she
dragged
wasn't
through
going to
the
stick
mud
around for it.
again.
Yeah.
And it was like, she wrote that note, please publish this, even if I die.
Yeah.
And because she did believe victims refuse silence. Like she always said that
Right.
she had that nonprofit, but it's just, yeah,
So what do you think is making Andy Windsor, the guy now? Why now strip
is
him
that
of
what
the
we're supposed to
princess?
call him, Andy
His
Winter?
name is Andrew Windsor. We could call him Drew Windsor because
I
it's a
was
little bit.
thinking that just like cut the
Andy's too
name out.
happy. Yeah, Drew
Yeah.
Windsor.
Well, listen, why is it that only in the UK public officials have paid the price?
Right.
That's
Why have
what
we
I
not?
was saying. Why are they
Yeah.
having accountability only there right now? That's kind of wild to me.
Yeah,
They're a little
because
bit
like
more strict on this, though, aren't they? They have much less tolerance for child molestation
Yeah, but is
in
it
their
more
laws and stuff over there.
the decorum of it, and the impropriety versus like the actual offense itself? It kind of makes you wonder because it is the royals, right?
yeah, I
Icky
think
Andy. That's what we're going to call him,
yeah.
Noble. Icky Andy. What's going on? So why now, though? Because they were kind of like, didn't there was already one move that the king did where he was like, okay, well, you can stay in the house, but you're not really like a working royal anymore. And then just today he was like, get fucked, you're out of everything. Like, what do you think that was?
I think it means more stuff is coming and they know it. And
Oh,
and I think they know that perhaps the fact that he asked his detail paid for by taxpayers um to investigate a woman who was accusing him of sexual harassment, to find dirt on her, sexual abuse, excuse me. Like that is crossing a line. Also, the monarchy is always in such a fragile position. I think we
right.
forget that. Like they live a lavish life of luxury. They are kings, and they are supported entirely by the UK
By
taxpayer.
the people. Yeah.
There's always going to be people who are questioning the monarchy and why they exist. How many
Mhm,
even exist in this world right now because of that reason? And so
mhm,
if there's anyone who's really um damaging that reputation and their right to exist as like representatives of that country, then they need to be cut like a
mhm.
cancer out. And William, I was reading, was the one who was really pushing this,
Uh-huh.
knowing that this is a threat to his throne.
Right.
If
Yeah.
if the British people say you have a pedophile and you've done nothing about it, the last time someone lost their title was a Nazi collaborator. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
That tracks. That
That'll do
yeah,
it.
tracks.
right. But can we talk a little bit about where he's moving to? Because
Yes.
he gave
Where's
What
us
he
is
the
it?
going?
Royal Lodge, which is a 30-room, massive, like everybody, when you're done with this, Google it. Royal Lodge, massive.
Okay.
Now he's going to Sandringham. I'm probably saying it wrong, so please correct
No,
me.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, and it's a cottage on there, but it's a 200-room palace as well, and I'm
Cottage.
sure I'm sure he's
Cottage.
gonna have allowed to have access in those 200 rooms. Like you can just get lost in there, and no one will know it. Um, it's an interesting way, and like how often is the king really going to be there, or other royals? Kings
Yeah.
have just lived there as their main residency. I think that this is like a backdoor in. He's not going to be paying rent. Uh,
Right.
he's living rent free again.
Well, doesn't he pay one peppercorn if the king requests it? There's some old ass rule where it's one peppercorn if the king requests.
You're hilarious. You would know that. Only you,
I know
V.
the
That's
stupidest
so
shit,
random.
Tara.
Fergie
Yeah.
was kicked out. Somebody just asked, where does Fergie go? She just was kicked out too, by the way. And
to
you
the
believe
mall.
they live together after
The
all this
malls
time?
are all abandoned. She can go move back into the Westview Mall. They also have 200 moves.
I'm sad to do this. Tara, we should hang out. I have to drop. I have to go moderate an ACLU panel.
Oh,
So I
okay.
gotta drop. So
Well, we'll hang for a little bit, Tara.
sadly,
Yeah.
it won't be as entertaining as this has been, but it'll
Oh.
still be good. So
We'll see you
well,
later,
good to
Katie.
see you
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye. Bye.
Right. Yours.
All right.
Yeah,
So she's
Fergie.
moving back to the mall.
Yeah. I can't believe that. I just am in shock that they've lived together for this long, divorced.
I
And
know.
he's had this propensity for like young girls. But then again, you see Fergie in emails with Epstein being like, "You're one of my dearest friends." He's clearly bankrolling her in addition to him. And she was like, "I'm sorry I had to denounce you as a pedo, but I do all of this work
The
for
kids.
children."
Yeah.
And her children's books. These people are so
So
vile.
weird, Tara.
So
I
vile.
had Katie and Tara in my mind.
Call me T. T and T.
Tea time with Tara. This will be like a
Yeah.
weekly thing.
Mm.
What do you think's going to happen to Andrew's kids? Because he's got, Eugenie and Beatrice? Those are his kids? Are they going to be working
People are
princesses
bad.
anymore?
I think people feel kind of bad for them. Like, you don't get to pick your parents, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
They
I
had it
kind
rough.
of do. I mean, especially when you hear that he made comments to her like, "You're like my daughter's age." I'm like, "Ugh, if that was my father, I would be so grossed out." Right? I feel like I feel bad for them. They're getting the residual, like, unless they're depraved themselves, but I haven't seen anything to indicate that.
No,
But
they seem pretty
like,
normal.
yeah,
Yeah.
they seem to like not want the spotlight, and
Yeah.
they don't seem to be like demanding of various luxuries in life, which is
Yeah.
partially why Prince Andrew took to um Jeffrey Epstein, and being a trade envoy was to like
Right.
have access to the high life. I guess being like his princely lifestyle wasn't quite enough for him. He wanted to be around women and on yachts and in this and that and fly around on jets. And it's just like, well, we'll see if that he's a 65-year-old man who's finally marginally paying for crimes that he's been accused of committing. And it's like,
And these are the ones we know, right? Like surely people who behave like this wasn't like the one time, right? Like surely
yeah.
there are more gross or weird things that he's done in his life. I did a Substack recently because I'm so sick of the news that I'm all into like gossip, be that political or historic, because the king prayed with the Pope, and that's like a big deal. And so I went back to like Henry VIII and lies that were told about his wives. And one of my things that I
Like Anne Boleyn,
yes.
my
So,
fave.
yes. So first of all of them knew each other. Okay. All of the wives knew each other. They were all like maid of honor in each other's thing and all this. And the idea that Catherine Howard was like some slut. She wasn't. She was raped. Okay. And she told the king she was. That's why her edict says like she incited a man to adultery, whether she meant to or not. That was her crime. Like he agreed. He was like, yeah, probably Thomas Cromwell, probably, maybe you didn't do it on your own volition, but it happened. You incited him to adultery, whether you consented to it or not. So that's why she got put to death. So all of this stuff. But the thing that never really gets talked about is like, if you're going to be a royal, then you got to do it all the way. Okay. I need to see public executions when your people fuck up. That's your legacy. And when when Edward became king, 9 to 15 years old. Okay, so up till 9 years old, he had the sister Mary and Elizabeth, right? We love. Um, all he saw was his sisters get sexually molested, also by different members of the royal family. And what does he do when he gets in? He has them all hung and their heads put on spikes in front of the royal family's home. Like, that's the shit we need to talk about, okay? Did you know that Prince Edward, when he became king, like, avenged his sister's molesters? No. Why don't we know more about that? We should know. We should set people to that.
That would be huge. First of all, I'm such a cornball. I love historical historical drama. It's basically fictional.
Yeah.
Like all of it. And then I become obsessed with it. And then I have to keep reading and find out how much of it was real and how much was fake.
Read this Substack that I wrote because it is like a fucking fever dream. His mother's Jane Seymour. Okay, right? Like, we know that. Jane Seymour's brother, Thomas Seymour, was allegedly used to hold Princess Elizabeth down and tickle her, is what they called it, but it wasn't so great. Thomas Seymour marries Catherine Parr after Henry dies. And then they have him killed too. Like, he was like, "You are fucking weird to my sister."
Yeah, I don't
Head on
think
a
it
spike.
would have lasted very long in, like,
Yeah,
real
it's
in
Game of
true
Thronesy.
medieval times.
They say that that Mad King from whatever, I don't remember the names, the blonde one is sort of based on Edward, like how he was like killing everybody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how it went. And then they poisoned Edward when he was 15, Catherine
How would
Park.
you feel if you were British right now? Have you thought about that before?
God, I never want to put myself in the shoes of a British person because then I'd have to do the accent. And I just don't think I could live a life that silly.
Uh, I know. I used to be in a relationship with a British guy, so I spent a lot of time there, and, like, I never really understood the royals, but he always sort
No.
of believed that he could like, if he was able to, he could defend them properly in the press, or at least, like, handle it in a better way, which I found to be, like, extremely hilarious, but yeah, they do.
Why did we break up with this guy? He was no knight in shining armor, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, he felt that they were worth saving. That the wor I was like, "I don't get it. No one holds their own bag." They just seem symbolic and expensive. They
I
are
like
I mean, maybe they're like a lot of our what do we have that's
celebrities,
symbolic?
Kardashians, the celebrities and stuff. I think I
Yeah, but they
liked
sell
when William
products.
and Kate were dating. That was a really fun time. I
Yeah.
loved Princess Diana, of course. I think we were all trained for that.
But she
Um,
was a rebellion against the monarchy. That's
yes,
what
I like Harry. Harry was a little rebellion and cutie,
uh,
and like I love thinking that his father is like the writing instructor and stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there'll be like what King William's gonna do. Is he? I guess he'll stay the king. He's gonna be the king.
I guess I do charity, which is good.
Yeah,
But then again, like, if you just took away all the money that it costs to keep them up in their properties, then you could then, like, turn them all into museums, the properties,
yeah.
and let people, like, go and visit them, make money, ticketed money, and then use that money to,
Like help people.
yeah, exactly.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see how the, like, attention on monarchy might have us like, because people don't think about the Spanish monarchy or, like, the Queen of Denmark and all that kind of
Because I think
situation.
they're cheaper to keep up.
The
I
Spanish
don't
one
know.
is rough because every time they have a baby, apparently it costs Spain, like, a lot of money. I had a friend who
Yeah.
lived in Barcelona, and there was a baby born while they were there, and they were like, "I don't know if I can afford this," because they, like, force you to tithe to the baby, essentially, and it's, like, really expensive, so
Paula brings up the royals are landowners, they will
mm,
always be there.
always be there.
And they're also really rich, so
Not if we bring back the Tower of London, okay? Not if we bring back all of that. I don't know how I can't get through the day, Tara, without wondering how it's gonna go. I can't be bothered with what's happening over there.
I
I
know, but
think it's weird.
when I lived in Brussels, people really cared about this. They really did.
I'm
They have
sure.
monarchy in Belgium. I just didn't get
Mhm.
there. I was like Queen Mathilde, and I remember I went to my friend was like, "You should go to the spa. Queen Mathilde goes there." And so I checked it
Ooh,
out, and it was like horrible.
it was
And
not
I
great.
actually lived down the street from them where they lived. It was a beautiful palace, but I think
Yeah,
you know, it's fine. People say the queen has a good idea about why the monarchy still existed. It was for the stability of the nation. Okay.
yeah. That
I
makes
watched The Crown. Did everyone else watch it?
my mom and my sister
Oh,
watched that. I
oh,
missed that
yeah.
one.
I was really into it. So I mean, it helps. It gives it's not I don't know.
I
They're
like Ireland's new president,
mm, I don't know him.
Catherine. No,
Oh,
it's a
it's a woman.
lady.
Oh
Yep,
my god, I
it's a
thought I missed
woman. Her name
that.
is Catherine. She's super liberal. She's, like, super leftisty, and I think she's gonna be really good for
Isn't
Ireland.
it like
People are
the
hyped.
K-Shock? How do you say their name again? The
I don't
K
know. K-Shock?
Isn't it funny that when people think they would think Irish that the language is actually just
No, Gaelic's super hard. Super
no,
hard.
it's like some weird pixie language,
Yes.
you know?
Super hard. Like, Siobhan is spelled Siobhan. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Siobhan? It's
and you have to learn it in school. You have to learn
yep,
Irish in
Erin,
school.
Eoin. Okay, sure, Ireland, sure.
Yeah, Owen is like E-A-E-O. Yeah, it's all
Yeah, it's all
very weird.
my wife's best friend is named Finola, and she's from Ireland, and I think that that is, like, the prettiest name. Like,
Oh,
they have
yeah,
some really
totally.
whimsical, like, from the
Yeah, they're like
hills stuff,
pixie
yeah.
people. They're
Yeah,
like from the lower what is it? Lord of the Rings? I don't
yeah, they're little
um,
cuties. You
oh.
got any other shit to talk, or should we, like, retire for the
I
day?
don't know. I'm curious what you think about my interview with Kat. Like, do you think
Mm,
that like I know she was in a weird spot
yeah,
because she just got indicted,
yeah,
but I don't know. I think I'm thinking about it still, and I'm just like, I think she's got like a lot of like promise and gumption.
she does.
Yeah.
I think she's an incredibly intelligent person. I think her heart is in the right place. I think she is experiencing things and then expected to be a leader and an expert on the things that she herself is going through for the very first time. Like when she says to you,
Yeah.
"This is my first time being indicted," and
Yeah.
there's an honesty and earnestness to that. The thing I also noticed is I've never seen, this is like a stupid thing, but I've never seen her with wet hair do an interview before. So
Right.
I hope that people are not pushing her to do things like saying you have to take these interviews or you have
Right.
to keep going if she truly is not in a place to like be holding as much as she's holding right now,
Yeah,
is
I
what I
agree.
feel.
I do think though that like as a
She's
public
also
person,
Palestinian and,
yeah,
they just killed a bunch of people again. They keep
right.
breaking that ceasefire. So I worry for her and I worry if she's being ill-advised to, push through the way that they do. But I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
think
I
you
get
said
that.
anything wrong.
I just think like if you're going to be a public person, a public
You got to be
official,
ready.
like
Yeah.
you, and you also have to like understand that you have a that you, as a public person, you have to be able to handle the press, like
Yeah.
take questions,
Yeah.
and
So and
especially
maybe
not
that's something that'll
antagonist
come out of
one.
this.
It's
Yeah.
not like I was like, do you regret what you did? Like
Right.
it was
No.
just like, how are you feeling at that moment? Boom.
Right.
I'm like, wait, what? Like,
I
it's
think
too
I
much.
think I think it was like you called it the Katie Porter moment. Like I think that was kind of it. I think it was pretty accurate.
What are we supposed to do? Hold your hand? Like, it's just weird. And listen, it would
Yeah.
actually be journalistic malpractice to like not ask about a break.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But I hope Kat is doing okay because, like you said, I think she's got great promise, and I like what she stands for, and I think she's showing up for Chicago in a great way. And I hope that, in the sort of pressure of these primaries and her first time through things, that she's not being overscheduled or not given time to like do what she needs to do because it's part her and part the failure of her campaign to not press train her if that's what it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah. I would just
like
have
there
been
should
like,
be
yeah,
more
I can't.
wraparound.
It's an ongoing legal matter. I can't
Yeah.
comment on it, but I feel like this is in like, if it
Yeah.
happens to me, it could happen to anyone. And like,
Right.
yada, yada,
Yeah.
yada.
Somebody needs to, yeah,
Yeah.
get with her on that. I
Well,
totally agree.
all's well. Thank you for having me. I hope everyone feels, in a weird way, happy to see some justice, even though we have to see it from so far away.
Yep. Yep.
But this is
Do you
what
think we'll get justice in America? Not necessarily for the Epstein crime, because I worry that we never will. But like, I see our government committing what would be considered a war crime under many circumstances, up through and including this like withholding food from 40 million people through these SNAP things and like willful destruction of public spaces without any kind of permitting. Like those are technically war crimes. I do think that we will see accountability for the bad stuff that's happening in this country in this particular moment. But I unfortunately can't promise people it'll be like the Trump family that will feel that. It'll be the ICE officers. It'll be the people who were just taking orders that really ought to think about what you're doing because a reckoning will come like it did for all other authoritarian soldiers, and you'll be the one that they throw under the bus.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot for me to. I don't have an answer for that, but I think that's
Think
something
about
for
it with the
all
rest of your day.
to think about. And
Yeah.
you're so smart, B.
Dude,
To
you're smart. We're
No,
all
but
doing
like I
our
didn't even think
best.
about it that way. And yeah. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all.
We'll see you later,
See you.
friends.
Okay, bye.
Don't hug anybody with your hand around their neck. It's bad for business. It's bad for the brand. Bye.